Hello, Bucknutters, and welcome into the Morning Five on May 9th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle. It was a banner night for Ohio State at the NFL Draft last evening as two former Buckeye players were selected in the first round. As expected, linebacker Ryan Shazier was a first-round selection, but he came off the board even earlier than projected when the Pittsburgh Steelers plucked him with the 15th overall pick. Shazier became the first Ohio State player drafted in the first round since Cameron Hayward in 2011, who was also taken by the Steelers. I gotta tell you, for us Bengals and Browns fans out there, it's tough seeing likable Buckeyes like Shazier and Hayward in Pittsburgh, but I'm still gonna be rooting like heck for both of them. Well, when they're not playing the Bengals, of course. Shazier is the 9th linebacker from Ohio State to be a first-round selection in the NFL Draft. As Buckeye fans like to say, the real linebacker U resides in Columbus. Just when it looked like cornerback Bradley Roby was headed for the second round in a restless night, the Denver Broncos selected him with the second-to-last pick of the first round. Roby was taken 31st overall by the Broncos, and he became the 13th Ohio State defensive back to be taken in the first round, and the first since Malcolm Jenkins in 2009. If Roby stays out of trouble, this is an excellent value pick for the Super Bowl runners-up because Roby is as talented as any corner in this draft. The only reasons he slid to the latter stages of the first round are because of his disappointing 2013 season and his off-the-field incidents. Last night was also the first time since 2009 that two Buckeyes were taken in the first round. Beanie Wells joined Jenkins in 2009. Our Steve Hellwagon has a story on the site right now with comments from Shazier, Roby, and their respective organizations. Make sure you check that out if you haven't already. Now for the latest on Ohio State recruiting. You know, the guys that we're going to be hopefully talking about as NFL draft picks one day. Let's go out to the dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic.
There's been lots of quarterback recruiting talk here on Bucknuts.com this past week. First of all, Brandon Wimbush from New Jersey, as expected, committed to Penn State. I was never on the Wimbush to Ohio State bandwagon whatsoever. I really never bought at all that Wimbush was headed to Ohio State. I really thought he was going to be a Penn State Nittany Lion. That's exactly what happened. Lorenzo Nunez from Georgia announced he has committed to South Carolina. That, too, was no surprise. After that, of course, the Buckeyes certainly continue their quarterback search. Their number one choice, without a doubt, is Torrance Gibson, but they are definitely not putting all of their eggs in one basket. For instance, this past week, Lamar Jackson from Fort Lauderdale Boynton Beach High School in Florida, a 6'3", 185-pounder, was offered a scholarship by Ohio State. But what really is intriguing to me is what's going to happen on Monday as Tom Herman, Buckeye offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, is going to be out in California on Monday to watch Travis Waller, Anaheim, California Servite High School quarterback throw. Waller, a 6'3" and 190-pounder, has a nice list of scholarship offers, but he tells me that there are two offers he would definitely like to have, those two being Ohio State and Oregon, and he will get his chance to earn that scholarship offer from the Buckeyes on Monday when Herman is there to watch him throw. And if he does get a Buckeye scholarship offer, I certainly think he is going to very highly consider it. He tells me that distance will not be a factor whatsoever in his decision and that he is very interested in Ohio State, and certainly that'll be worth keeping an eye out for on Monday. And then the other quarterback I think that's intriguing is Tommy Stevens from Indianapolis Decatur Central High School in Indiana. He, too, would love to get a scholarship offer from Ohio State, and if he were to earn one, I think he would have a somewhat difficult time turning down the Buckeyes. Right now, Stevens has over a dozen scholarship offers. He has already thrown for Tom Herman, and he is hoping that a Buckeye scholarship offer comes either sometime later this spring or during the summer. But those are two definite names to keep an eye on as far as the Buckeyes quarterback search goes, Travis Waller and Tommy Stevens. But again, the number one guy on those certainly continues to be Torrance Gibson, and I continue to be cautiously optimistic when it comes to Ohio State and the Buckeyes' chances of eventually landing Torrance Gibson.
Thank you, Bill. Hopefully the Buckeyes land Torrance Gibson, but it's good to hear they're not resting their entire hopes on landing Gibson and that they're closely looking at other quarterbacks. Bill's daily recruiting buzz is already on the site this morning for premium subscribers, and Bill has updates on safety Will Sunderland, linebacker Jayshon Cornell, and more. Bill also has a one-on-one audio interview with offensive tackle Austin Clark on the site that subscribers won't want to miss. If you're not a subscriber, give our 30-day trial a test drive. The NFL Draft will resume tonight at 7 on ESPN and NFL Network with rounds 2 and 3. and 2 more Buckeyes are expected to be selected. In fact, running back Carlos Hyde is expected to be off the board very early in round 2, and I think offensive lineman Jack Mewhort will also be a second-round selection. As Mike Mayock from NFL Network said, if this were 10 or 15 years ago, Hyde would have been a lock for the first round. He's the best running back in this year's draft, but the NFL has changed and it's difficult for running backs to crack the first round any longer. Last year, the first running back off the board was Giovanni Bernard to the Bengals with the 5th pick of the second round, number 37 overall. Hyde will likely come off the board around the same spot tonight. At least we hope. Thanks to everyone out there for joining us for the Morning 5. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend.